Scorpion, Punisher, the Hulk, Jean Grey, apparently. Who is the villain in Spider-Man Brand New Day? Let's talk about it right here. So Spider-Man Brand New Day is about a month away from releasing in theaters, and we really still don't have a sense of who is the actual villain, who is the main villain that is basically going to be the threat to Spider-Man in this movie, because it seems like the real villain is MJ's new boyfriend. And I don't think that that's going to be the main villain of the movie. So I thought we could talk about it here today. Now, we've gotten 2 trailers, and I feel like the villain has been hidden in both of the trailers. In the trailers, we also really only knew what was going on with MJ and Ned, Peter dealing with like his, not divorce, but his depression. And then some like damage control things with Coleman Domingo's character, them kind of, you know, I don't know, maybe have something to do with the hand, the ninjas and stuff. So we're going to talk about it all here. We do have a little bit of a tease on who the mystery hooded figure that we see in the trailer is, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I wanted to start off with the most obvious choices for who the main villains could actually be in this movie. So the most obvious choice for villain is going to be Scorpion. I think it's long overdue. I mean, he's in the trailers and he's been teased since 2017. They even got Michael Mando to come back. Michael Mando? Scorpion, he's long overdue. He's in the trailers. He's been teased since 2017, so we're finally getting Scorpion. But how big of a role is he actually going to be playing in the film? I think he's going to be more like, you know, back in Spider-Man Homecoming, we had the Vulture, obviously, as the main villain, but we also had the Shocker. And a lot of people were saying that, you know, there were like side villains, and we saw that, right? Shocker was a side villain, but the Vulture was the main villain. I think this is going to be one of those cases where Scorpion is in the trailer. He's a big bad threat, like he should be. You know, the Scorpion is a threat, but is he really going to be the main villain? I don't think so. I think he will play kind of that Shocker role that Shocker played in Spider-Man Homecoming. We can also compare this to villains like Lizard or, you know, Jamie Foxx's Electro in Spider-Man No Way Home. They weren't really the villain. You also had Alfred Molina coming back as Doc Ock, and he wasn't like the main villain. It was really Green Goblin, and he was kind of hidden from all of those Spider-Man No Way Home trailers. We remember that the Spider-Man No Way Home trailers kind of made it seem like the Sinister Six was more of the villain, and Dr. Octopus was going to be the leader of that. I don't know. So all I'm saying is I'm getting the vibes that Scorpion is going to be like one of those side villains, not the main villain of this film. We also see in the first 2 trailers the Hand. We got ninjas. Now the Hand is originally primarily a Daredevil villain, but someone is clearly running the Hand in the film. I don't think the main villain is going to be ninjas, which would be fucking sick if the main villain was ninjas. But no, I don't think the main villain are going to be the Hand, and I think someone is going to be controlling the Hand, and, you know, obviously sending them out to handle Spider-Man, or maybe to handle the Punisher, something like that. And it brings up a very cool little coincidence, because I didn't watch Daredevil Born Again season 2, but apparently, spoilers if you haven't seen it, but it's been off air for maybe a couple months now. They end up in prison. Daredevil ends up in prison, and Spider-Man in the trailers is fighting the Hand in a prison. All the Defenders are in prison. So, you know, I know that Kevin Feige is kind of trying to keep the MCU and the Disney Plus Marvel TV shows a little bit separate, but maybe this could be one of those scenarios, because we got the Punisher, man. The Punisher is in this movie, so why can't Daredevil be in the movie? Who knows? All right, so to top it off, I don't think that the Hand are going to be the main villains of this film. We got another one, and this isn't even confirmed, but Sadie Sink whoever Sadie Sink is playing, she's the hooded figure. We don't know this officially, but it's been reported she could be playing Jean Grey. All right. Now, it was first reported from Daniel RPK not too long ago that she was going to be indeed Jean Grey, and if that's the case, they're kind of making her in the trailers to look like a villain and to look like a bad guy. But is she going to be the main villain? No, I don't think she's going to be the main villain either. The newest trailer shows off some, Jean Grey-esque powers, so she could potentially be in like a villain role until the real villain is revealed. Now, maybe, yeah, like I think that it could be one of those things, where you see heroes kind of bicker. Like, we're gonna see Spider-Man and Punisher bicker, but that doesn't necessarily mean the Punisher is gonna be the actual villain of the movie. I think it could be one of those scenarios where Jean Grey is just on the other side of the fence when it comes to Spider-Man's beliefs of how to handle things and whatever. And yeah, so I think there could be like some kind of miscommunication thing, and we realize towards the end of the movie that she was being manipulated or something like that, if she is playing Jean Grey. But it might be kind of hard to manipulate Jean Grey, if you think. I don't think she's going to be the main villain. I don't think, she's a bad person or anything. And plus, it's Sadie Sink. I don't think that they're going to waste her for a one-off villain in a Spider-Man movie. I think it makes a lot more sense to kind of have her debut as Jean Grey in this movie, so that when they do the new X-Men movies and she's in them, the audience can kind of have something to know her by. So, yeah, I don't think Jean Grey is going to be the main villain. The Punisher, like I said, I don't think the Punisher is going to be the main villain either. I don't even think he's going to be a villain at all. I think he's just going to be someone who Spider-Man works with, and he kind of, is at odds with at certain points. So yeah, that's pretty quick. I don't think I have to explain further. Next up, the Hulk. I think the Hulk is going to play some kind of villain role, only because he's going to be, manipulated into it, or, like we see in the trailers, the Rage Monster Hulk is back. So you could call him a villain, but he's not going to be the real bad guy of it. And I also think if Jean Grey is being manipulated herself, then she could be taking control of Hulk and doing some bad stuff. So I don't know. It's very convoluted, right, on who the villain could actually be. But we do have casting news, and well, not really news, but we know the cast, and it was reported that Tombstone's going to be in this film, and he was not marketed in the trailers at all. Maybe like a couple shots, but you don't see his face. You don't even. Maybe you might hear him talk, but yeah, Tombstone. And I think we're finally at the point of the video. I think this is going to be the real villain who's lurking in the shadows. The character who could potentially, in my eyes, be the overarching villain of this new Spider-Man street level trilogy. If they're not going to go down the Kingpin route, who knows? It could just be like, hey, we need a Kingpin level esque villain for Spider-Man, right? And him as a mob boss, running like this whole underground crime syndicate, that could work. That could kind of replace like a Kingpin. And we know that Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, he's still going strong for the Daredevil Born Again series, and also he's been talking about how he wants to go up against Spider-Man. So I guess I can put Kingpin in there, like, hey, like, maybe it's a cameo sort of situation. I talked about the Hand fighting Spider-Man in prison, and Daredevil is in prison. Who knows? Punisher is in the movie as well. It's not that far out there to have Kingpin on this list of potential villains in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, again, we're going back to Tombstone. I think this one makes the most sense, right? I think it makes the most sense because we are doing this whole street level story, and what better way to kind of kick that off with a street level villain like Tombstone, potentially maybe even working for Kingpin under his wing or something. Maybe he reports to him like how that one dude from Guardians of the Galaxy reported to Thanos. That's my opinion. I think Tombstone could possibly be the real main villain. We just haven't seen anything in marketing for it. But that's gonna be it for what I got to talk about. Let me know what you guys think. Who is gonna be the main villain of Spider-Man Brand New Day? We are 1 month away from Spider-Man Brand New Day, and I cannot be more excited. It's a great time for movies right now. Toy Story 5 is exploding at the box office. You got movies like Spider-Man Brand New Day coming out. You have Dune, Doomsday coming out later down the line. It's gonna be a really good it's going to be a really good year for movies. So make sure you subscribe down below to the channel. We're going to be making movie videos like this, movie discussions, every single day. So please, if you want to join the conversation, go ahead and turn on the post notifications, subscribe down below, comment down below to actually join the conversation, do all that YouTube stuff for me so that it just helps the channel out. I already said that part. Okay. All right. I love you guys. Bye.